All right, good day, everyone. It is your friend Damon Bodon from the Corcoran Group. I'm recording this on a Tuesday, but whatever day you're watching it, hope you're having a great one. As we always do here, going to go through some deal analysis. Today, so we're going to be doing a few throughout the day. We're all going to be separate videos, but right now we're going to be looking at a two-family property in New Lots, Brooklyn. All right, so I am going to share my screen with you and show you guys kind of what we're talking about here. This is the property 191 Malta Street. Okay, so I'm gonna show you this on Street Easy as well. Sorry, this is where I wanted to go. This property's been on and off the market for a little while. Zillow did not populate photos, so they can only see this. But what I did is just looked at some of these interior photos from a past listing. Looks like a new renovated two-family house right here. So this is just to kind of give you guys an idea. Right now you have two L trains right here. Obviously New Lots Avenue being the closest and East 105th. Theoretically, you have the 3 train as well at Pennsylvania. All right. So this property is on the market today for $799. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start populating a calculator together. All right, so this is our friend John. We're going to bring him up. We're going to start here, and we're just going to replace a lot of info, right? So, boom. All right, so Zillow, duplex. They're on the market today for $799. All right, so first thing we're going to do here is we're going to be looking at 3-bedroom rentals, right? So let's look at just what that market might look like. All right, so these are all ones. So we got a 3-bed here we got a 3-bed at 2868 and a 3-bed at 3188. So just for the purposes of time, what we're gonna do is we are gonna go with the lower of those 2 units, right? So we'll go 2868 as your market rental on unit 2. Okay. And now let's look at room by room. So we are going to go to Hot Pads. So Hot Pads is always the site that I use. So one of the sites I use to look for rentals because they have a lot of room by rooms. It sort of populates in here. You'll see. All right. All right. So rooms. And we got a room here. What's the deal of this? Nothing. That might be a little bit more than I think one could get. Okay, so 800. I bet you this is probably a lot closer, right? Yeah, so 800. Ocean Hill, 850. 900. All right, so we're going to say basically you're getting, let's just be conservative and say you're getting 850 for each room, right? You might be able to get more. So basically today, that essentially means that right now we're looking at $1,700, right? Okay. Why are we doing that? Because so just to get a kind of monthly rental. All right. So we're going to be looking at this on an FHA one. So let's just say that you do in fact pay the full ask price. You're putting down 3.5%. Let's see where the interest rate on FHA is as of this morning, approximately, again, using Mortgage News Daily for this. FHA 30-year is 5.8 as of this morning. Now, obviously, that can change. A lot of things can factor in there. All right, FHA. Here's just kind of going through this with you guys. The 3.5% down, which is a down payment of $27,965, loan amount of $771, and a 5.8 interest rate. Okay, so now we're looking at 1.75 for upfront PMI, closing costs approximately around 3%, right? All right, we do not need any upfront renovation as this is a fully renovated house. So just to see this forced equity, sometimes when you're looking at things and you can do a little bit of work to get the value up, that could be that. But in this case, I don't think so. All right, so let's see if there's any reference to the tax bill here. Property taxes, okay. 3192 in 2020. We can find out more for that. So 433 a month. Okay, so we're going to use 433 a month, right? So that's going to get us to about somewhere around 0.65, 433 a month. There we go. Okay. Insurance, we'll use that. MIP, let's just say that you're doing the full lever and you have to pay 0.85. Okay. Utilities, you're not going to pay much here because you have separate meters. Let me just go through. So this is your mortgage payment. Taxes, I basically looked at the annual tax bill. A lot of New York properties are not taxed at the full market value assessment. So this like, it's not as simple as just using a percentage. What I generally look for is the actual tax bill. And what we can do is, if it becomes of interest, we can go to the Department of Finance, look at the actual tax trend, things like that. Property insurance, usually around, depending on here we go, varies widely, 0.15 to 0.3. So we're going to change that to 0.15. Again, your new construction, right? Mortgage insurance premium. This is on an FHA loan, okay? A lot of times at FHA, when you're doing the minimum, you're doing the maximum loan to value, you're going to pay between 0.85 and 1% on your MIP, okay? So no property management, you're going to manage this yourself. Utilities, again, you're splitting with everybody, right? So you're splitting with 2 roommates, and then you're kind of splitting, then obviously your unit 2, they would pay their full utilities, right? Maintenance and CapEx, 5% here, vacancy 5% here, no other expenses that I can see right now. Okay. So if nothing changes today, right? Let's just say that this property, you just buy it as is, you paid full ask, nothing happens, right? Basically, you're paying about $1,642 a month out of pocket every time that you make a mortgage payment. If we start on the first payment, and then this only gets better over time, you're paying down $797 in principal, okay? So essentially, you're looking at, quote unquote, a rent equivalent, meaning that, you're paying this out of pocket. And remember, you're amortizing the loan up around $844 a month, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Years that you intend to live there, I always say 1. Property management, you should probably self-manage this building. Rent and price appreciation, we're making assumptions of 4% a year. Generally speaking, the rental market appreciates much faster in New York City than that, as does the sale market. However, we want to be conservative, right? Tax growth 2% a year. CPI growth, let's hope this is lower than 5%. All right. So essentially, going down here, right? This basically is your payment the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, right? And basically what this is assuming is you're always keeping the same loan. You're getting a 4% appreciation in rent, right? And you're essentially getting the property appreciation, right? All right, so you can look at that on sort of like that basis. You can look at it here in terms of like an annual basis. You can look at it here in terms of a monthly basis, right? Also important to know here too that a couple of things. So your principal pay down, this is the amount you pay into the loan. Every month you're paying down a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, right? So a little bit less interest, a little bit more principal, right? This really starts to make a dent when you start getting up here into like year 10. Now you're paying $1,415 a month, right? Remember, you started paying $797, right? All right. So This deal is, it's okay as of today, right? Obviously, there is something to be said for getting a full renovated property. There is something to be said for having relatively easy rentals, things like that, right? Now, let's make some assumptions here, okay? And this is how I like to visualize these things. Let's say number one, that you're going to live here for 1 year, right? And eventually you're going to lease your own room, right? So basically, from there, you're looking at, let's say that you get the 850 there, right? Now you're at 2550. Or what you do, because you're on the market in these 3 rooms, or what you say is, okay, at the end of this, you're going to go ahead and just do another 3-bed lease, right? Let's say that you get the 2868, right? Okay. Now, so this is after, remember, this is after you move out, right? Remember, you do your 1 year and then you move out, okay? So now, okay, look what that does to your cash flow, right? Obviously, now you're technically cash flow positive once you factor in the debt pay down, right? So boom, there you go, right? Now let's think about some other things, right? So the 30-year mortgage today, 30-year FHA, right, is at 5.8%. Okay. So what I'm looking at is saying to myself, what happens if you're able to refinance this, right? Now, so let's just look here at like a 10-year period, okay? So 2010, you're at 526, 2011, you're at 419, 2012, you're at 335, little fours here, 2014 sub 4, 2015 sub 4, 2016 4%, 2017 4-ish percent, a little higher in 2018, and then obviously below that, right? So let's assume that in the course of ownership, you can get this down to 5 points, let's say that you get it down to 4%, which based on the history is not unheard of, right? Remember, this is like forward thinking refinance. Okay. So what's that do to your cash flow? Okay. So boom, you saw that mortgage payment went way down, right? And now, even before principal pay down, you have a cash flow positive property. All right. Now, let's say that you instead, by the time you refinance this property, you've built up enough equity to refinance out of an FHA loan and into a conventional loan. Let's say that the property price has went up a little bit and now you have 20% equity. Okay. So what we're now going to do is let's say we're going with FHA, the mortgage insurance premium never goes away. But if you refinance into a conventional loan, it does. So let's assume that also happens, okay? Now, see there, that takes your cash flow up to about $800 a month, right? And I think the real power in this kind of stuff, right, is now obviously this isn't going to be 100% perfect, right? But let's say around like year 2, 3, right? That's when we probably think interest rates will be back down to near those 2010 to 2020 levels. 4-ish percent, 4.5, somewhere in there. We'll see, right? No crystal ball. So you do that. So you get this down, right? Hopefully these rents grow over time. You get the MIP off the loan, right? Now, what you're looking at over time is a pretty significant monthly cash flow, right? Now, obviously, there's going to be things like CapEx and maintenance, but remember, all these payments, you're saving 5%. So you're saving like $287 a month, right? For that rainy day fund, right? You're also saving on vacancy, right? And let's say that you are able to hold renters. Let's say these guys stay for 4 years, right? Now you've got your vacancy, you'll have saved, additional money there for the rainy day, right? So really the power in this stuff is looking at the market that we have today, right? Which definitely is a slightly more favorable buyer's market, right? But then also thinking about the visual of where you're going to be over the course of 30 years of owning this home, right? And over the course of 30 years, whatever, right, of owning this home, right? You got to think about where your rate's going, right? How can you reduce fees, right? Where can your rents go, right? And things like that, right? So to me, let's just go back to the beginning here, right? And we'll say, okay, here, 5.8, right? Remember this, in my scenario here with those, those triggers, you got to about $800 a month in cash flow, right? Well, let's say those don't happen. Say, you're back to paying 0.85 and you just simply move out, right? And you get these same 3-bed rentals here, right? Now from there, you're still going to get there, right? You're still going to get there, but it's going to take, it's not going to be as robust, right? So remember, a lot of this stuff, money out of pocket, relatively low for New York, right? Remember, it's FHA loan, right? So just think about this from what it can do for you, right? Remember, we're starting here, we're starting here, we're starting here, but this can improve, this can improve, this can improve. And appreciation wise, this can improve, right? So all those things together are usually how, when you can never time the market as a real estate buyer, but time in the market overall will help you accelerate your net worth. And theoretically, guys, you're buying this now, 30 years from now, this is part of your retirement, right? So hopefully that makes sense. My name is Damon. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.